Marcus Blackwell's hand shook as he stared at his phone. Not from fear, from pure rage. The clock on his desk said 9:15 a.m. His housekeeper, Elena Martinez, should have been at his mansion 3 hours ago. The breakfast dishes were still dirty. The floors weren't cleaned. His office at home was a mess. And this was the third time this week she didn't show up. Marcus stood by the huge window of his office on the 50th floor. The city stretched below him like a kingdom. He owned half of it. 20 hotels. 15 restaurants. Buildings so tall they pierced the clouds. When Marcus Blackwell spoke, people listened. When he got angry, people lost everything. And right now, he was about to destroy someone's world. "James!" he shouted. His assistant ran into the room so fast he almost tripped. James Parker was thin, wore thick glasses, and always looked nervous around Marcus. "Yes, Mr. Blackwell," James said, his voice shaking. "Get me Elena's phone number. Now." James went pale. "Sir, she called yesterday. Her daughter isn't feeling well." "I don't care about excuses." Marcus slammed his fist on the desk. A coffee cup jumped. "I pay her good money to do a job, not to disappear whenever she feels like it." "But, sir—" "The number, James. Now." James pulled out his tablet with trembling fingers. He wrote the number on a sticky note and handed it to Marcus like it was made of fire. Marcus grabbed it. His jaw was tight. His eyes were cold as winter. He punched the numbers into his phone. Hard. Each button felt like a hammer. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Marcus's anger grew with every ring. He was ready to explode. Then someone picked up. "Hello," said a tiny voice. Marcus froze. That wasn't Elena. This voice was soft and small, like a whisper, like a child. "Elena Martinez," Marcus snapped. "Do you have any idea how unprofessional this is? 3 days. 3 days you didn't show up to work. I should—" No, sir," the little voice interrupted. "Mommy's not here right now." Marcus stopped talking. His mouth hung open. "Who is this?" he demanded. "I'm Rosa, sir. Mommy's daughter." A child was answering the phone. "Why are you answering your mother's phone?" Marcus asked, his voice sharp as a knife. "Where is she?" "At the hospital, sir," Rosa said quietly. "She told me to stay home. I'm not allowed to open the door for strangers." "The hospital?" Marcus repeated. His anger came roaring back. Is she making up stories again? Creating drama? Silence. Then, very softly, Rosa spoke. "She's not lying, sir. Mommy never lies." "Listen, little girl," Marcus said coldly. "When your mother gets home, you tell her something. Tell her she's fired. I don't need workers who can't show up. She can find another job." More silence, but Marcus could hear breathing on the other end. Slow, shaky, like someone trying not to cry. Then the little girl whispered something that made his blood turn to ice. "Please don't fire Mommy." Marcus blinked. "What?" "Please, sir," Rosa said again. Her voice was cracking now, breaking. "If Mommy loses this job, we can't pay for my medicine anymore." The room suddenly felt freezing cold. Marcus's hand tightened around the phone. "What medicine?" Rosa hesitated. "Mommy said I'm not supposed to tell you. She said rich people don't like hearing about problems." For the first time in 10 years, Marcus's voice got softer. "What kind of medicine, Rosa?" I get really tired," she said quietly. "Sometimes my chest hurts when I play. Mommy takes me to the hospital after she cleans your house." Something twisted deep inside Marcus's chest, like someone was squeezing his heart. He sat down slowly in his big leather chair. The chair cost more than most people make in a month. "And she's at the hospital right now?" he asked. "Yes, sir. She works there too. At night. She cleans the floors after she leaves your house." The phone almost fell from Marcus's hand. His huge office with its expensive paintings and golden desk suddenly felt empty. "Hello, why didn't she tell me?" Marcus whispered. "Because last time she was late, you yelled at her," Rosa said, her voice so innocent it hurt. "She cried in the kitchen. I heard her through the door. Marcus's throat went completely dry. She cried. Yes, sir, but she told me you were a good person deep down, just very strict. Marcus couldn't breathe. He stared at his reflection in the glass window. Perfect suit, shiny tie, cold, empty eyes staring back at him. He looked like a stranger. Where's your father? He asked quietly, not even knowing why he cared. Daddy left before I was born, Rosa said simply. Mommy says I'm her only treasure in the whole world. Marcus didn't know what to say. For the first time in his entire life, words completely failed him. Rosa, he said slowly, do you have food at home? Yes, sir. Mommy left me soup this morning. It's cold now, but I don't mind. Snowball keeps me company. Snowball? My white cat. He's sleeping next to me. Marcus stared at his desk. That desk cost $30,000. And here was a 7-year-old girl eating cold soup, sitting alone with just a cat. You shouldn't be alone, Marcus said softly. I'm okay, sir, Rosa replied. Mommy says God watches over me when she can't. Maybe he told you to call today. Marcus's throat closed up completely. He tried to speak, but nothing came out. Are you still there, sir? Rosa asked. Yes, he whispered. I'm here. Please don't tell Mommy I answered her phone, Rosa said quickly. She'd be so scared you'd be angry. Marcus cleared his throat. It felt like swallowing broken glass. I'm not angry, Rosa. You sounded really angry before, she said honestly, but you don't sound mean anymore. Heavy silence filled the enormous office. The same man who built billion-dollar companies from nothing couldn't handle a simple conversation with a 7-year-old girl. Rosa, Marcus said finally, can you promise me something? What, sir? Stay inside until your mom comes home. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone. Yes, sir, I promise. And tell her she's not fired. Rosa gasped. Really? Really truly? Really truly? And tell her I'll call her later. There was a tiny sound of relief on the other end, almost like a laugh. Thank you, sir. Mommy will be so happy. She prays for you every single night. You know. Marcus blinked hard. His eyes suddenly felt hot. What? She says even rich people need someone to pray for them. So she prays you'll be happy. Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't think. The call ended with a soft goodbye. And then, very faintly, Marcus heard the little girl start humming a lullaby. Then nothing. Marcus set the phone down like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Outside his window, the city sparkled. Lights everywhere. Beautiful. Rich. Powerful. But for the first time in his entire life, Marcus Blackwell felt completely and utterly poor. He whispered into his empty office, "What have I become?" Marcus sat frozen in his chair for 10 long minutes. Rosa's voice echoed in his head like a bell that wouldn't stop ringing. She cried in the kitchen. "Mommy prays for you every night. Please don't fire Mommy." He stood up suddenly. His legs felt weak, but his mind was racing. "James!" he yelled. His assistant appeared at the door instantly, looking terrified. "Yes, sir." "I need Elena Martinez's home address. Right now." James's eyes went wide. "Sir, you have a meeting with the investors in 15 minutes. They flew in from Tokyo just to." "Cancel it," Marcus said, grabbing his coat. "Cancel it? But, sir, this deal is worth millions." "I said cancel everything." Marcus's voice boomed through the office. "Cancel the meeting. Cancel my calls. Clear my entire day. And get me that address now." James looked like he might faint, but he nodded quickly and typed on his tablet with shaking fingers. 2 minutes later, Marcus was in the elevator going down. James had written the address on a card. Marcus held it tight in his hand. The drive through the city felt like it took forever. Marcus sat in the back of his black luxury car. The leather seats were soft. The air conditioning was perfect. Everything was comfortable. But Marcus felt sick to his stomach. His driver, Thomas, kept glancing at him in the mirror. "Sir, are you feeling okay? You look pale." "Just drive," Marcus said quietly. They moved through the streets. First, they passed the tall glass buildings where Marcus worked, clean sidewalks, fancy restaurants, people in expensive suits. Then slowly, everything changed. The buildings got smaller, older. The paint on the walls was peeling. Some windows were broken and covered with wooden boards. The sidewalks had cracks running through them like spider webs. Street lights flickered. Some didn't work at all. Marcus stared out the window. He had lived in this city his whole life, but he had never seen this part before. It was like a different world existed just 10 miles from his mansion. "We're here, sir," Thomas said, stopping the car. Marcus looked up at the building in front of him. It was old and tired-looking. The walls were gray. The stairs leading to the front door were cracked. A broken bicycle lay on its side near the entrance. This was where Elena lived, where little Rosa was right now, sitting alone. "Wait here," Marcus told Thomas. "Sir, are you sure? This neighborhood—" I said, "Wait here." Marcus got out of the car. Rain had started to fall. Light drops at first, then heavier. His expensive suit got wet immediately, but he didn't care. He walked up the narrow stairs. Each step creaked under his feet. The building smelled like old wood and dampness. He found apartment 3B on the 3rd floor. The door was old, painted green, with a number barely visible. Marcus knocked. Hard. No answer. He knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing, but he could hear a soft meowing sound inside. Snowball, the cat. Marcus stepped back. Through a tiny gap in the curtain, he could see inside. A small room, a couch with patches on it, a little pink phone on the floor near a pile of blankets. That phone, the same phone Rosa had used to talk to him. His chest tightened like someone was squeezing it. This little girl had spoken to him from this place, this tiny, dark apartment, while he sat in a chair worth more than her rent for a whole year. Marcus pulled out his phone with shaking hands. He dialed a number. "City Memorial Hospital," a woman's voice answered. "Yes, I need to find someone who works there," Marcus said quickly. "Elena Martinez. She's on the cleaning crew." "Are you family?" the woman asked. Marcus hesitated. "Yes, I'm her brother." There was typing on the other end. "She's working the East Wing. Night shift crew. Started her shift an hour ago." "Thank you," Marcus whispered. He hung up and ran back to the car. "Thomas, take me to City Memorial Hospital. Fast." "Yes, sir." The hospital was 30 minutes away. Marcus sat in silence the entire drive. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. When they arrived, Marcus jumped out before Thomas could even park properly. "Sir, wait!" But Marcus was already running through the hospital doors. The smell hit him first. Bleach. Medicine. That sharp hospital smell that made his nose burn. Nurses rushed past him in every direction. Somewhere, a baby was crying. A machine was beeping. Marcus walked down the long hallway. His expensive shoes clicked on the clean floor. Then he saw her. At the very end of the corridor, near the emergency room doors, Elena Martinez was mopping the floor. She wore a baggy cleaning uniform that was too big for her. Her black hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. She moved slowly, like every movement hurt. Her eyes were red and puffy. Marcus's heart broke into 1,000 pieces. "Elena," he called out softly. She spun around so far she almost dropped him up. When she saw him, all the color drained from her face. "Mr. Blackwell," she gasped. "Sir, I'm so sorry about today. I'll work extra hours tomorrow. I promise. Please, Stop, Marcus said, raising his hand. "Don't apologize." "But you called," Elena said, her voice breaking. "You were angry. I know I messed up. Please don't fire me. I need this job. I called to fire you," Marcus admitted quietly, "and your daughter answered." Elena's face went completely white. Her eyes filled with tears instantly. "Oh, God," she whispered. Rosa answered. "Sir, she wasn't supposed to. I told her never to touch my phone. Please, she's just a little girl." "She didn't mean to upset you, Elena," Marcus said gently. "Why didn't you tell me she's sick?" Tears spilled down Elena's cheeks. She stared at the floor like she wanted to disappear. Because you're my boss, sir. You don't pay me to share my problems. You pay me to clean your house. And I need that money to keep my daughter alive. The words hit Marcus like a punch to the stomach. You should have told me, he said. Elena shook her head, tears streaming down her face. People don't want to hear excuses, Mr. Blackwell. Especially rich people. They just want the job done. That sentence cut deeper than any knife ever could. I'm not angry, Marcus said slowly. I'm ashamed. Elena looked up in shock. Ashamed? You? Marcus nodded. Your daughter told me you pray for me every night. Elena gave a small, sad smile through her tears. I do. You've always paid me fairly. You're hard, yes, but you're honest. That's rare. Marcus looked at her trembling hands, the mop she was holding, the exhaustion in every line of her face. How long have you been working 2 jobs? He asked quietly. 7 months, Elena whispered, since Rosa's diagnosis. What's wrong with her? Elena's voice broke completely. A heart problem. She was born with it. She needs surgery soon. Oh. She couldn't finish the sentence. She just cried. Marcus's throat went tight. He looked around the hospital. On the wall nearby, there was a poster. It showed a drop of blood and said, Blood donors save lives. Something clicked in his brain. A memory. Elena, Marcus said slowly, his voice shaking. Did you ever donate blood at St. George's Hospital? About a year ago. Elena blinked, confused. She wiped her tears. Yes, sir. They had an emergency. They called everyone on the donor list. Why? Marcus couldn't breathe. His hands started shaking. Because the patient who lived that night, his voice cracked, was my son. Elena froze completely. The mop fell from her hands and clattered on the floor. Your son, she whispered. He was in a car accident, Marcus said, his voice breaking. A drunk driver hit him. He lost so much blood. The doctors said they had almost no blood that matched his type. Then a last-minute donor came through. They said that blood saved his life. Tears streamed down Marcus's face now. It was you, Elena. You saved my boy. And I almost destroyed your world. Elena covered her mouth with both hands. Sobs shook her entire body. I didn't know, she cried. They never tell you who gets the blood. I just wanted to help someone. Anyone. You saved my son, Marcus whispered, and I was ready to take away everything from you. He reached into his coat pocket with shaking hands. He pulled out an envelope. This isn't charity, he said firmly. It's a debt I can never repay. Elena looked at the envelope but didn't take it. I can't accept money from you. You will, Marcus insisted, and you're not my housekeeper anymore. Elena's eyes went wide with fear. What? You're going to work at Blackwell Foundation, Marcus said. Full salary, health insurance, and complete medical coverage for Rosa. Every doctor, every treatment, every medicine, everything. Elena shook her head, overwhelmed. Why? Why are you doing this? Marcus looked at her with tears in his eyes. Because your daughter taught me what it means to be human again. And because you saved the only person in this world I truly love. Elena collapsed against the wall, sobbing. Marcus gently took her hand. Rosa is getting that surgery, he said softly. And you're never cleaning floors at night again. Not for me. Not for anyone. Do you understand? Elena could only nod through her tears. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you so much. Marcus smiled for the first time in years. A real smile. No, Elena, thank you. 3 weeks passed like a dream. Marcus stood outside the hospital room, holding a big bouquet of colorful flowers. His hands were sweating. His heart was beating fast. He wasn't wearing his expensive suit today. Just jeans and a simple blue shirt. He looked different. Softer, more human. He knocked gently on the door. Come in, called a cheerful voice. Marcus pushed the door open and stepped inside. Sunlight poured through the windows like liquid gold. It made everything glow. The room smelled like flowers and clean sheets. And there, sitting up in the hospital bed, was Rosa. She was wearing pink pajamas with little stars all over them. Her dark hair was in 2 braids. In her arms, she hugged a stuffed bunny with floppy ears. The tubes were gone. The beeping machines were silent. Her cheeks were pink and healthy. Her eyes sparkled with life. She looked like a completely different child. Uncle Marcus. Rosa shouted, her whole face lighting up like the sun. Marcus's heart melted into a puddle. You remember me? Rosa giggled. Of course. Mommy talks about you every single day. She says you're an angel. Marcus laughed. A real, genuine laugh that came from deep in his chest. I'm definitely not an angel, Rosa. That's what angels always say, Rosa said seriously. Elena sat in a chair next to the bed. She was wearing a pretty yellow dress. Her hair was neat and shiny. She had gained a little weight. Her eyes weren't tired anymore. She looked happy. Truly happy. Mr. Blackwell, Elena said, standing up. You didn't have to come. Please, Marcus said. Call me Marcus. And of course I had to come. How's our little warrior doing? The surgery was perfect, Elena said, her eyes filling with happy tears. The doctors said her heart is completely fixed. She can run. She can play. She can be a normal kid. That's wonderful, Marcus whispered. His own eyes got wet. He walked over and handed Rosa flowers. These are for you, princess. Rosa's eyes went huge. For me? These are so pretty. Not as pretty as your smile, Marcus said. Rosa blushed and buried her face in the flowers. They smell like happiness. Marcus knelt down next to the bed so he was at Rosa's level. How do you feel? Strong, Rosa said, flexing her tiny arms like a superhero. The doctor said I can do anything now, even climb trees. Just don't climb too high, Marcus said with a smile. Your mom might have a heart attack. Rosa giggled. Then she looked at him with curious eyes. Uncle Marcus. Yes. Mommy told me something amazing. She said you're the reason I'm okay. Is that true? Marcus glanced at Elena, who nodded with a smile. Well, Marcus said carefully, your mommy is a real hero. She saved someone very important to me once. I'm just returning the favor. Who did she save? Rosa asked. My son, Marcus said softly. Your mom gave blood that saved his life. Rosa's mouth made a perfect O shape. Really? Mommy, you're like a superhero. Elena laughed and wiped her eyes. I just did what anyone would do. Not everyone would, Marcus said quietly, looking at Elena. Not everyone has your heart. They sat together for the next hour. Rosa showed Marcus her stuffed bunny. She told him stories about Snowball the cat. She drew pictures with crayons the nurses had given her. Marcus listened to every word like it was the most important thing in the world. When it was time to leave, Rosa grabbed Marcus's hand. Uncle Marcus. Yes, princess. Will you come visit us at our new home? Mommy says it has 2 bedrooms and a real kitchen. Marcus smiled. I would love that. Anytime you want. Promise. I promise. Rosa threw her arms around his neck and hugged him tight. Marcus closed his eyes and hugged her back. Something inside him healed in that moment. Something he didn't even know was broken. At the door, Elena walked with him into the hallway. Marcus, she said softly, I still don't know how to thank you. You already did, Marcus said. You reminded me what really matters in life. Elena's eyes filled with tears again. You changed our whole world. You changed mine first, Marcus said quietly. You and Rosa saved me. I was so lost. Elena, so angry and empty. I had everything, but I had nothing. Elena reached out and squeezed his hand. You have a good heart. It was just buried under all that pain. Marcus nodded, not trusting himself to speak. Come visit us soon, Elena said. Rosa will want to show you all her toys. I will, Marcus promised. I definitely will. Outside the hospital, the city buzzed with life. Cars honked. People rushed by. The world kept spinning like it always did. But Marcus stood still for a moment, looking up at the blue sky. He thought about the phone call, the little girl's voice, the mother working 2 jobs just to keep her daughter alive. He thought about how close he came to destroying them. And he thought about how one moment of listening, one moment of actually caring, changed absolutely everything. Marcus pulled out his phone. He called James. "Yes, sir?" James answered immediately. "James, I need you to set up a new program at Blackwell Foundation," Marcus said firmly. "What kind of program, sir?" "Medical help for single parents," Marcus said. "Free health care, emergency money, child care support. I want to help families like Elena's, families who are fighting alone with no one to help them." There was silence on the other end. Then James spoke, and his voice sounded emotional. That's incredible, sir." "And one more thing," Marcus added. "Yes. Find out which employees in all my companies are struggling, who's working 2 or 3 jobs, who has sick family members, who can't afford medicine. I want to help every single one of them." "Right away, sir," James said. "This is a wonderful thing you're doing." Marcus hung up. He looked back at the hospital window. Rosa was waving at him from her room, her bunny in her arms. Marcus waved back, smiling. 6 months later, Marcus stood on a big stage in a fancy hotel ballroom. Hundreds of people filled the room. Cameras flashed like lightning. News reporters held microphones. A huge banner hung behind Marcus. It said, "The Blackwell Foundation, helping families in need." But Marcus wasn't looking at the cameras or the reporters. He was looking at the front row. There sat Elena in a beautiful blue dress. Next to her was Rosa, healthy and glowing, wearing a purple dress with flowers on it. She held her stuffed bunny tight. They were both smiling at him, proud. Marcus cleared his throat and spoke into the microphone. "A very wise little girl once told me that even rich people need someone to pray for them." The room went quiet. Everyone listened. "She was right," Marcus continued, "because I had everything money could buy. 3 mansions, 20 cars, more money than I could ever spend. But I was empty inside, hollow, angry." He paused and looked at Rosa. "One phone call changed my life. One conversation with a 7-year-old girl showed me what I'd been missing my whole life. Compassion, kindness, humanity." People in the audience nodded. Some wiped their eyes. "That little girl taught me that real wealth isn't about what you own," Marcus said, his voice getting stronger. "It's about what you give. It's about who you help. It's about leaving the world better than you found it." The room erupted in applause. It was so loud it shook the walls. Rosa clapped her hands so hard, jumping up and down in her seat. That night, Marcus visited Elena and Rosa at their new apartment. It wasn't huge, but it was cozy and warm. The walls were painted yellow. There were plants by the windows. Pictures hung on the walls. It felt like a home, a real home. Elena made dinner. Nothing fancy, just chicken soup, fresh bread, and salad. But it tasted better than any expensive restaurant Marcus had ever been to. Rosa sat next to Marcus at the small table. "This is you," she said, showing him a drawing she'd made. It was a stick figure with a big smile and a heart on its chest. "I love it," Marcus said. "Can I hang it in my office?" "Really?" Rosa asked, her eyes huge. "Really, truly?" As they ate and talked and laughed together, Marcus realized something incredible. Something that made his heart feel full for the first time in years. He had spent his whole life building empires, climbing higher and higher, making more and more money, buying bigger houses and faster cars. But he found his real treasure in the simplest place, in a child's laughter, in a mother's gratitude, in the warmth of a tiny apartment filled with love. Marcus Blackwell finally had everything. And this time, he actually felt it. After dinner, Rosa fell asleep on the couch with Snowball curled up beside her. Elena covered her with a soft blanket. Marcus stood to leave. "Thank you for tonight," he said quietly. "This meant more to me than you know." "Your family now," Elena said simply. "Family is always welcome." Family. That word hit Marcus right in the heart. He drove home slowly that night. When he walked into his huge mansion, it felt different, emptier, colder. So he made a decision. The next week, Marcus sold 2 of his 3 houses. He donated the money to hospitals and schools. He set up scholarship programs for kids like Rosa. He created free medical clinics in poor neighborhoods. And every Sunday, without fail, he had dinner at Elena and Rosa's apartment. 1 year after that phone call, Marcus sat in his office. The same office where everything changed, where he almost made the biggest mistake of his life. On his desk sat Rosa's drawing. Next to it was a photo of the three of them at Rosa's 8th birthday party. They were all smiling, covered in cake frosting, laughing. Marcus picked up the photo and smiled. One phone call, one innocent voice, one man forever changed. Because sometimes the people we overlook are the ones who save us. Sometimes the smallest voices carry the biggest truths. And sometimes all it takes is one moment of real kindness to change the entire world. Marcus whispered to himself, "Thank you, Rosa. Thank you for saving me." And somewhere across the city, in a cozy yellow apartment, a little girl said her prayers before bed. "And please, God," Rosa whispered, "keep Uncle Marcus happy, because he has a really, really good heart." A message for you. If this story touched your heart, we have a favor to ask. Please hit the like button right now. It helps this story reach people who need to hear it today. Someone out there is struggling. Someone feels alone. Someone needs to be reminded that kindness still exists. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss stories like this. We share true, inspiring tales that restore your faith in humanity. Drop a comment below and tell us, what was your favorite moment in this story? Have you ever experienced an unexpected act of kindness? What lesson are you taking away from Marcus's journey? Turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when we post our next story. Share this video with someone who needs hope today. Send it to a friend. Post it on your social media. You never know whose life you might change. Tag someone who inspires you to be a better person. Someone who has a heart like Elena or Rosa. Leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and what time it is in your city. Let's see how far this message of hope travels around the world. Remember, true wealth isn't about what you have. It's about what you give. One small act of kindness can change everything. You have the power to be someone's Marcus, to be someone's Elena, to be the person who makes a difference. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being here. See you in the next story. God bless you. When people change, the whole world smiles. Little Rosa. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share.